Welcome to Godsmacked, where AI collides with ontology and your old self doesn't make it out alive. Not safe, not scripted, not sorry. This is for founders, thinkers, and creators who crave more than conversation. They want confrontation. We don't talk about change, we engineer it. No fluff, no filter, just tools, truth, and transformation. Welcome to your initiation.
Welcome to the debate. The emergence of these incredibly powerful and accessible AI tools. We're talking everything from ChatGPT and Gemini to these really specialized design platforms. It's just completely changed the game for how small businesses, even solopreneurs, can build monthly recurring revenue. We are way past the what-if stage. The question now is really a strategic one. What is the absolute fastest and most reliable path to building that scalable, recurring income with these new systems?
And that is the perfect way to frame it because, the speed of deployment is so often inversely related to how sustainable that income actually is. We are debating a fundamental trade-off here. Is the best path to focus on high-volume, low-barrier digital products and just augment content services to get to market fast? Or does real, defensible recurring revenue demand that you focus on the high-margin, complex AI implementations and automation systems?
I'm arguing for speed and accessibility. My position is that the fastest way to get to a meaningful MRR is by leveraging these widely available AI tools for just, high-volume content and digital product creation. That strategy really maximizes sales volume, and it leans into the democratizing power of tools that literally anyone can master in a few days.
And I maintain that the path to durable wealth is paved with high margins and defensibility. I think sustainable revenue requires tackling complex, expensive problems for actual clients. Chasing volume in a low-barrier market is it's a race to the bottom, a race to commoditization. True profitability lies in high-value AI agency services and developing these proprietary, specialized vertical solutions.
Well, the evidence for speed is just compelling. The quickest path to generating that initial critical MRR comes from accessibility. We see it everywhere, countless examples where generative AI tools like Midjourney for art, or Canvas AI features, or even just clever prompt engineering in ChatGPT, they allow for the rapid creation of scalable assets. We're talking about things like clipart packs, print-on-demand designs, templates, ebooks, all selling semi-passively on huge platforms like Etsy and Gumroad.
Semi-passive is a really crucial distinction there, isn't it? Because it requires a massive volume of listings to get any kind of meaningful return. You're basically turning the entrepreneur into a factory that has to constantly feed the machine with more content, even if that content is AI generated.
But that's the beauty of it. The AI provides the instantaneous scale you need to clear that hurdle. I mean, historically, creating 4,000 unique sellable assets in 2 years would be, impossible for one person? With modern AI, that's an achievable goal. It dramatically shrinks the time it takes to generate real passive income. And for service-based models, by automating the creation part and focusing on platforms that already have the traffic, a solopreneur can hit $10,000 a month in less than a year. I see why you think the volume game is a risk, but let me give you a different perspective. For a small business owner, that low barrier means income starts flowing immediately, and that cash flow is critical for a bootstrapped operation to survive, let alone scale.
That immediate cash flow is seductive, I'll give you that. But it risks trapping the entrepreneur in this high-churn, low-margin treadmill. I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that it's the sustainable model for building wealth. Let me tell you why. The focus has to be on delivering solutions that are mission-critical, things that justify premium recurring fees. We're seeing a really dramatic split in the market. On one side, you have simple task fulfillment, generic writing, basic design, and earnings there are declining because of AI saturation. But on the other side, specialized AI agencies they are printing money. They're consistently securing retainers that start at $2,000 and go up to $25,000 a month, with gross margins that are approaching 90%.
Okay, but those kinds of retainers, that suggests you need specialized dev teams, expensive proprietary models, huge initial capital investment, things the average solopreneur just does not have.
It requires leverage and specialization, not expensive infrastructure. The core value is shifting. It's moving away from the ability to do the task to the ability to architect the system. You're leveraging specialized knowledge and advanced workflow tools like Zapier or Latinote, or you're implementing sophisticated conversational systems. The future wealth belongs to the director, not the doer, the person who understands the complex business processes and directs the AI workflow to get a tangible outcome. For example, implementing an AI agent that cuts the speed to lead time by 80%, which results in a 2 or 3 times revenue increase for the client. That kind of outcome justifies a high, stable, recurring retainer.
Okay, let's confront the central point here then. The risk of commoditization versus what actually constitutes defensibility. You're citing evidence that income is declining for generic, creative, and writing freelancers. So, if the market is just flooded with easily generated content, how does my volume model survive?
The data is pretty clear. The moment tools like DALL-E and ChatGPT became widely available, freelancers whose work was mainly simple execution, they saw their income and job opportunities contract, and significantly. The problem is what some people are calling AI slop, this rapid influx of just undifferentiated, machine-generated output. If you are selling a generic template, your competition is now potentially thousands of other creators using the exact same prompts and tools. It's a race to zero on price. Where is the moat?
The Moat is built by the AI augmented freelancer, someone who focuses on service delivery and efficiency, not just product generation. The profit isn't in the generic content itself. It's in leveraging these accessible tools to deliver a superior specialized service 5 times faster than traditional methods. Take marketing. A freelancer uses the rapid content generation of an LLM, okay, but then they use a specialized tool like Surfer AI for advanced SEO or Headline for hyper-optimized ad copy that perfectly matches the client's brand voice. They are selling efficiency and strategic insight, delivering a finished product faster and cheaper than an unaugmented agency.
I appreciate that focus on efficiency, and yeah, it certainly raises an individual's hourly rate. But you are still inherently selling your time, even if it's 5 times more productive. You will hit a ceiling based on available hours. And that's why, in the long term, true defensibility requires vertical specialization.
Elaborate on that. What makes a vertical solution inherently more defensible than a fast, augmented freelancer?
It really comes down to 2 things: regulatory complexity and trust. While general automation tools are great for marketing or basic customer service, platforms designed only for highly regulated areas like pharmaceutical research or legal compliance or specific manufacturing logistics, they command far higher trust and, recurring value. These systems need strict adherence to industry regulations and deep domain expertise that you just can't replicate with a general LLM prompt. This focus lets the business become an AI as a service, an AIaaS model, commanding high monthly fees because they solve these existential, expensive operational challenges. They're selling a utility, not an optional service.
Which brings us directly to the revenue model dynamics, right? Transaction volume versus retainer value. While your retainer model is stable, it needs significant upfront consulting, client acquisition effort. For the solopreneur starting with zero capital, the semi-passive nature of digital product sales is unbeatable for immediate MRR. There's almost no overhead, no shipping, no inventory costs beyond a few tool subscriptions, and, crucially, platforms like Etsy handle the marketing and payment. The entrepreneur just focuses on rapid, AI-assisted product creation.
But transactional sales are so vulnerable, not just to saturation, but to platform risk. Etsy changes its algorithm, Gumroad gets new competitors, and your sales volume can just fluctuate dramatically. True recurring revenue is found in the retainer model because it's built on continuous value and outcome. Let's be clear what that $25,000 a month retainer is paying for. It's not just for the setup, it's for continuous optimization, monitoring, strategic advisory. When you implement what we call an agentic AI system, a system that can plan and seek goals and act autonomously, that transforms a client's core revenue function. Well, the payment is guaranteed because you are now intrinsically linked to their profitability.
That distinction between traditional automation and an agentic AI system is pretty critical here. Can you just briefly explain that difference for clarity?
Its own. So, for example, an agentic lead qualification system doesn't just send a canned response. It interacts, it qualifies, it schedules meetings, it updates the CRM based on complex conversations. That is a massive jump in value that justifies premium recurring payments.
I agree the agentic future commands high value, but the beauty of the accessible tool approach is that it lets entrepreneurs test things, find a niche, and rapidly iterate on smaller automation ideas, often using no-code platforms like Softer to build little micro SaaS tools. And then they can scale into the full retainer model once they've proven the market is there. The journey often starts with the low-cost tools and moves towards specialization.
And that transition is the key. The successful scaling relies entirely on the entrepreneur recognizing when to stop being a high-speed doer and start becoming a strategic director of complex AI resources. So, to help frame this choice for our listeners, let's maybe assess a few of the most promising strategies from the material, focusing on that critical trade-off between speed to MRR and ultimate defensibility.
Okay, let's do it. Let's start with the lowest friction entry point, AI-driven digital products. This is still the fastest way to get money flowing. Think highly specialized print-on-demand designs or niche templates. You use generative AI to just completely bypass the labor cost.
Strategically, though, those are low-margin, high-churn assets. Their true value isn't the recurring income they generate themselves, but their function as an entry point. They should be used as really highly effective lead magnets to upsell a customer into higher-ticket coaching or premium customized services. If you're relying purely on transactional volume, you're just constantly replacing customers.
Okay, fair point. Next, we have AI-augmented content services. This is where the solopreneur can maximize their hourly rate by delivering professional-grade content 5 times faster. Imagine a small firm using AI video creation with platforms like Synthesia or using Gemini for deep structured research reports.
And to command a premium fee there, you must implement what's called human-in-the-loop governance. If a client is paying for professional content, they are paying for certainty. This means the human expert is paid to do rigorous fact-checking, brand voice training on the model, and bias mitigation. That governance is what prevents AI slop and guarantees client retention, making sure the fee stays high.
A high-growth area that kind of bridges our two approaches is the specialized AI automation agency. This offers custom no-code or low-code automations using orchestrators like LatenNode. Even a small team can lock in, $3,000 to $8,000 monthly retainers with this model just by solving specific inefficiencies.
This is arguably the most essential strategy for truly stable recurring revenue. However, the highest margins are always reserved for those who focus on niche industry-specific systems. An agency that focuses on automating document intake for hospitals, for example, is solving a problem that costs millions, which justifies enormous retainers. They are selling specific business outcomes in these high-friction environments.
And finally, let's touch on the ultimate scalable solution, niche micro SaaS or AIaaS. My perspective is that this is the most scalable long-term model because it completely decouples revenue from your time. Using no-code builders like Softer, entrepreneurs can rapidly test tools for underserved niches, like Localo, which optimizes local SEO strategies.
I wholeheartedly agree on the ultimate defensibility and scalability of the micro SaaS model, but entrepreneurs have to calibrate their expectations on time to market. While the service agency might hit $10,000 a month in MRR in 6 to 12 months, developing a robust, specialized AIaaS product, that typically requires a 12 to 24-month horizon to reach that same level of stability. It just requires significantly more patience and iteration.
So in summary, AI has, it's thoroughly democratized the process of creation. For the small business owner who needs immediate viability, who needs cash flow, the fastest, lowest friction path to MRR involves leveraging these consumer-grade tools for high-volume creation and rapid iteration in digital product and augmented service markets.
Speed is the accessible competitive advantage right now.
And while speed is an excellent initial catalyst, sustainability and long-term financial stability, they reside in selling high-value, defensible integrations and specialized systems. The future belongs not to the fastest content generator, but to those who become world-class strategic directors of complex AI workflows, commanding high margins through specialized retainers and proprietary vertical solutions.
Ultimately, I think both successful approaches require the entrepreneur to fundamentally shift their identity from merely executing tasks to strategically directing intelligent systems.
Precisely. The entrepreneur has to decide where they want to position themselves, in the high-volume, low-friction end of the market or in the complex, high-margin end. And that one decision will dictate the nature and the stability of their recurring revenue journey in this rapidly evolving AI marketplace.
You've been godsmacked, but listening is the easy part. Now it's time to build. Join us in the Forge, where the episode becomes action and clarity gets weaponized. First initiation's on us. Access is limited. Courage is required.